Under your course information, you'll find the workbook for this course. Here's the tax workbook. We're using publication 4491W for this course. Tried to save you some money, so we're using IRS materials, and this is free from the IRS. This is our workbook that we're going to be using to prepare the various tax returns throughout the course. In here are basically the examples that we are going to use. There are 4 different tax returns that you're going to prepare. Then you'll take a midterm exam, which is basically the basic certification for the IRS. You will then prepare another 4 exams, or tax returns, excuse me, and then you'll take the advanced certification, which is going to be our final exam. Don't let that scare you. These aren't they're tricky tax returns, but they're not that hard. Here's the table of contents. We've got the basic course and the advanced course. This is what you'll be using. The first tax return we're going to prepare is the Behringer tax return found on page 7. We'll follow that with Washington and then Webster. And then we'll do a comprehensive problem, Graham, which incorporates all of the issues that were brought up in the first 3 tax returns. This is what you're going to see for the information. This is a Form 13614C. It's basically anywhere that you prepare taxes, whether you're in public accounting, H&R Block, or with the VITA program, which is a volunteer income tax program that we're using the materials from the IRS for. You'll have an intake sheet, and that intake sheet basically has the just basic information about the taxpayer. So in this example, we've got first name, last name, U.S. citizen, address, date of birth is right here. We've got information about what she thinks are her dependents, their date of birth, their relationship, how long they were in the home, are they U.S. citizens. We move then to a questionnaire, and the questionnaire asks basic questions. Did you have wages during the year? Yes. Did you have any tip income? No. Generally, every taxpayer will fill one of these out for an interview with you, whether you're in public accounting or, say, at H&R Block. Here are the Social Security cards or Social Security numbers that you will enter for each of these individuals. Remember from the first outline sheet, each taxpayer has the first 3 digits. You can see that on their Social Security card. I assigned you the middle 2 digits. That's your identification number. And then the North Central Technical College, we have the last 4 digits, which I believe was it 3336. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's it. So your identification number are going to be these 2 digits right here. That's how I'm going to be able to confirm that that's your tax return, and that also helps to separate in the TaxWise software your tax returns from everybody else's. Next, each tax return is going to have a little narrative, and it tells you about Cheryl has 2 children, Courtney and Artis, who lived with her full time. This is the information you're going to use to prepare the tax return. You'll also have W-2s and other tax documents that will help you or be information for you to key into your tax return. You will not put YS into the tax return. This stands for your state, and we are going to use the state of Wisconsin. I do want to call your attention to the Social Security boxes on the W-2s. Leave whatever TaxWise comes up with as a computation in the Social Security boxes. That is because this is a static form that the IRS created back in 2012, and in 2012 employees were withheld at a rate of 4.2% for Social Security, so that's why this will not compute out to the same number that you get in TaxWise. Use the number in TaxWise. And you can see that's the end of her return. Very simple return. Then you're moving into the Washington return. Here's the intake form with this basic information. Once again, a checklist that kind of outlines everything. A lot of times when I'm preparing tax returns for clients, on my organizer, I have a highlighter handy, and anything that has a yes next to it, I highlight that line. And then once I take care of that line, I'll either tick out here, or I'll write a little memo to myself that, hey, I talked to the taxpayer, and the post-secondary education that he thought for himself here was actually just some hobby that he took. It doesn't qualify. But you use this information to kind of generally come up with the information for the tax return. Once again, you get to Washington. Here's their social security card. First 3 digits are related to the individual. Next 2 digits are related to your specific identification number. I assigned you, and the last 4 relate to NTC. This is a check. You'll have a check with each taxpayer, because you're going to take the routing number and then the account number, because all the tax returns will be direct deposited, or any refunds will be direct deposited into their account. Now with Washington, he's got a 1099 INT, he's got a dividend here, 1099B. I will call your attention to the fact that these all have samples stamped across them. The problem with this sample stamp is you'll notice on this 1099 div, right underneath the P, there is a number. So you need to pay very close attention to what is underneath the sample stamp, because a lot of times under this box here, this is the federal withholding that would have been from their interest income, or there's federal withholding that might be from their dividend income, and that sample can sometimes cover up ticks and boxes, withholding, things like that. For the most part, these are very straightforward. There are some issues that you'll run into, but we will discuss those in class, or actually you'll go through those in the Link and Learn, and learn about how to handle those special situations. Once again, you see the YS, your state. We're going to use the state of Wisconsin. Thank you.